there's so many things you can do around harm reduction. I mean, we could give a whole bunch of examples, one after another, of different harm reduction activities. But where does a community start?
Right.
How do they find that starting point? And what's appropriate next door may not be appropriate for our community or for your community. So I think it's important to help communities to figure out where they're at in implementing harm reduction, in doing harm reduction. So where are they at? Are they no awareness? Or are they in denial? Or are they they've already starting to prepare for harm reduction maybe?
Right. I think in a lot of instances, our First Nations community are very crises driven right now.
Yeah.
As soon as something happens, boom, we got to do something.
Yeah.
So things are done and they're not sustainable. They're not practical, you know?
Right.
So you need to look at the big picture. And I think as Aboriginal people, we're visionaries. We can look at the whole picture. How is this going to play out over the long term? And we need to be practical like that. And that's part of harm reduction, is having that vision in the long run and putting these things into place so they're practical for the people who need to have them to keep our communities safe. So, you know, we talk about the continuum of care.
Right.
What's going to cause the greatest success for these people is if we anticipate these things before they occur. Don't you find?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that that spectrum or that continuum of health, or I like to call it a rainbow, because we all have our colors. We all have different colors than each other, and we all fit in the rainbow somewhere. But some of our services in our communities only have maybe 5 programs, so there's 5 colors. But what about the other colors? So if you have an addictions program where you have to be clean and sober for 3 weeks to get into the drug rehab program, that's fine for people with those colors, the people that can handle that, the people that work well that can do that. But what about for the people who can't?
Yeah. And you know another thing too, and we have to, one of the Anishinaabe way, the Aboriginal way, is that we are people and we're all connected. We're part of this circle. And we cannot exclude one person because we don't think they meet our expectations.
We need to recognize that people's lives are like this. It's a bumpy road.
Yeah.
And for some of us, it's bumpier than for others, you know. And sometimes there's accidents happen and the wheel comes off. It's just a matter of getting some help. Someone stops on the road and helps you out, you know. That's who we are. We're the helpers.
It's like you and I, what we're doing right now, we're having this conversation. And everybody has to talk about this and have an honest discussion, you know, and I encourage people to have that communication. You need to talk about it. And if it's happening in your own home, even more so, you know. So if we deny that there is drug use, or we chase them away and we feel that it doesn't exist, this is not part of our home, you're actually driving this underground where they're, you know, making this, the drug use dangerous, where they're sharing needles, and you know they're sharing paraphernalia, and they're out. You know, if they become sick, how are we going to reach them and take care of them? You know, we see the highest rates of HIV and AIDS when it's unchecked, because we deny people the right or their existence, their mere existence, that this is occurring. You know, it's one thing to prevent them from coming into our communities, but the reality is they are in our communities.
Yeah.
And it's not going away. And the beauty of harm reduction is, okay, you're here, what can we do to help you?